So, what is a supply chain? Let's take a simple product we all use, toilet paper, as an example. Toilet paper consists of biodegradable paper wound tightly around a hollow corrugate core. On average, a roll of toilet paper costs $1. This probably won't come as a shock since toilet paper is made from recycled paper pulp and water. It shouldn't cost a lot to produce. In fact, it typically costs 10 cents per roll. A consumer might think, well, that means 90% profit, right? Well, not quite. Material and production costs are just a portion of the total cost. Think about where and how you buy toilet paper. Typically from the household aisle in a grocery store, packaged in multiples. But what you don't see is how it was shipped or how it got there. So, to understand the actual profit, it's important to understand what it took for a package of toilet paper to get into your home. First, you'll need to negotiate the price for the paper pulp, corrugate core, and production machinery. But wait, you'll also need to think about the packaging, since toilet paper is purchased in multiples. So you'll need to add plastic wrapping and corrugate boxes. But wait, have you ever bought toilet paper without a logo or description on the package? I don't think so. That means you'll need a designer to create a logo, visuals, and descriptions that will appeal to the consumer. Plus, you'll need a printer. Now, let's think about the factory where the toilet paper will be produced, which won't be free. Neither will things like electricity, gas, water, lights, soap, toilet paper, garbage pickup, office supplies, furniture, racking, machines, computers, software, and other technology, not to mention employee benefits and pay. After the toilet paper comes off the factory line, it will need to be packaged by another machine, then boxed. And it will be easier and faster to move those boxes if they're stacked on pallets, which means you'll also need to invest in forklifts to move those pallets. But that means you'll also need a forklift driver to move the pallets, shrink wrap them, label them, and then load them into a truck, which will require a truck driver, fuel, regular maintenance, and insurance. This truck will then transport the shrink-wrapped pallets to a distribution center. Or, if production is overseas, it will need to be taken to a port or inland port and loaded onto a container by a crane. Oh yeah, and don't forget about the export tariffs. You'll want to remember that those distribution centers will also need electricity, gas, water, lights, soap, toilet paper, garbage pickup, office supplies, furniture, racking, forklifts, computers, software, and other technology, not to mention employee benefits and pay. So when the items arrive at the distribution center, a forklift driver will need to unload the truck, check the quality and quantity of items received, and put the items away in storage locations based on their SKU. Remember, not all toilet paper is created equally. There's ultra soft, super strong, double rolls, triple rolls, and even mega rolls. So when a retailer or a local grocery store places an order, the order is assigned to a distribution center, usually based on distance. And once that distribution center receives the order, another forklift driver will pick the items from the customer order. Then the items in the order are again shrink wrapped together and labeled before being loaded onto yet another truck, which by now you know means another truck driver, fuel, maintenance, and insurance. Once the driver arrives at the retailer to deliver the order, the store's employees will then have to unload the product from the truck, check the quality and quantity, and restock their shelves. Now, think about this. The store will also need, you guessed it, electricity, gas, water, lights, soap, toilet paper, garbage pickup, office supplies, furniture, racking, forklifts, computers, registers, technology, parking, and shopping carts, not to mention employee benefits and pay. However, the retailer will also need a solid marketing strategy to set them apart from the others in town, which includes things like commercials, newspaper ads, community involvement, coupons, and a social media presence. Likewise, you'll also need to invest in a way to differentiate your product. Think about the competition. Retailers typically stock multiple brands, including their own, so you'll need a solid marketing strategy to ensure that your brand stands out to the consumer. But also, you'll need a sales strategy and team to even get your products stocked on a retailer's shelf. Oh, and don't forget the price of returning and replacing damaged product. And even though toilet paper seems pretty straightforward, you'll also need to have a staffed call center for people who call in with questions or complaints. And I almost forgot, you'll also need to pay the behind-the-scenes workers too, like those in finance, IT, human resources, and administrative support. So the lesson here is that the actual cost of a product is way more than the material. It's the culmination of buying, making, storing, moving, servicing, and selling, which are essentially the components of a supply chain. The good news is that by focusing on improving supply chain processes and removing waste, you can reduce these hidden costs, adding more to your bottom line.